This last episode was a wild one, y'all, and it left me so confused about the future of this season. There was some tribe drama, a worm-eating contest, meat-eating vegans. There was just a lot going on today, y'all. I am super excited to dive into it, though, but first, before we get started, please make sure you hit that subscribe button below if you have not already. Here on my channel, I talk about Survivor and other reality TV shows too, and we're always having a good time over here, so please make sure you're subscribed for more reality TV content. Now, let's get started. So this episode opens up with Rachel and Saul talking about the advantage that she had just used. Saul admits that he chose to give the advantage to Rachel in order for him to build his army and add her to it. Now, I definitely think that fessing up and securing this bond was the right play to make, and it definitely looks like it turned out well for Saul too. In fact, just like they predicted in the last episode, it looks like the old yellow and red tribes are talking about linking up just to take out that whole old blue Tuku tribe completely. Really, we're getting a lot of personal content from Saul in this episode just in general. We're hearing a lot of people talk about how much they like him, which is always a good sign in the edit. It's nothing too serious to note right now, but just something I noticed. It just feels like he was kind of ignored a little bit during the first couple episodes in the season, which I think is really unfortunate because Saul just seems awesome, and otherwise I would probably have him up higher on my winners list. Next up is the Survivor auction back once again. And this time they're going to have to earn their auction money by doing a scavenger hunt. Now, this game in general, I would personally absolutely love, okay? I love running. I love I Spy. This is just totally my type of challenge. But this type of thing is definitely not for everybody, okay? Because as we see, Andy is out there struggling. Stuff like this is clearly not his forte, so it's probably a good thing for him that this is just a reward. The actual auction itself, though, I do have some mixed feelings about. On one hand, I thought this was a really fun segment to watch, and it lasted for a really long time. Like, they got to eat a lot more than I was expecting them to. But on the other hand, I do have to dock some points because this wasn't really much of an auction now, was it? I mean, I don't think there was any actual bidding happening at any point the entire time. And I'm willing to bet that that little lose your vote twist that they threw in there had something to do with it. But I did think that the other little games and twists that they threw in there were a lot of fun though. From that peanut butter eating challenge to that worm eating challenge to hell, even the advantage that Rachel got. I mean, let's just talk about Rachel because she clearly got the best deal out of everybody, okay? She got burgers, fries, a beer, and an idol. That's crazy. And also major props to her for just boldly grabbing that idol in the camp in front of everybody. Like, that one really shook me to my core. Like, literally everybody was standing right there. That is insane to me. So after everybody enjoys their meal, well, everybody except for Andy, it is now time for the group to head off to the next immunity challenge. And this one is an endurance challenge that we've seen on the show time and time again. Eventually, Sue and Kyle end up pulling out the win here. And with his third immunity already of the season, Kyle's target is just growing bigger and bigger on his back. We've already heard people out there whispering about how much of a comp threat he is. So honestly, right now, I just don't know how much longer Kyle's gonna last in this game, unfortunately. But for now, he's safe. So by default, people are starting to look at Gabe as the next big target from the Blue Tribe. And so for a while, that seems like it's going to be the obvious choice that we're going with until Andy decides to step in. Now, Andy seems to be a pretty emotional player, and there's nothing wrong with that. But now that Sam and Sierra have burned them, it looks like there is pretty much no going back. Andy has completely flipped the script on them, and now he's ready to step into his villain bag. He's out there flipping his hair and giving us a little bit of Fabio. Andy is on cloud 9 out there, okay? And now he is ready to boss up.
Now I'm at the merge. And I'm getting a lot cooler, and like I don't need to wear these freaking glasses anymore, and I could be the Andy that I believe myself to be. I could be my full version of myself, and I can turn into the pivotal player in this post-merge.
I am just so proud of Andy's storyline this season, man. He started off so lost, but little Andy has found his way. Now it looks like Andy is successfully leading the charge against his old Gata Tribe, which we were hinted about last week. But there does still seem to be a lot of back and forth out there about which one of them should leave first. Everybody seems to have their own target and their own agenda and their own reason for wanting one of them gone. Going into this tribal, I really only felt okay about Rachel. One, because she just found the idol, and two, just because it seemed like Andy was really more pushing for either Sam or Sierra to be the one to leave. I do, again, want to give Rachel yet another shout out for playing that shot in the dark instead of her idol, though. I thought it was definitely the right call, plus it gave her a little bit of an opportunity to kind of look around and watch people's reactions as she got the results of her shot in the dark, just to see if they were either happy or upset that she was safe. I'm not sure if that was necessarily part of her strategy, but if it was, it's definitely an added bonus. I also wouldn't be surprised if Saul really hinted that she was safe too, because those two seem to be forming a pretty tight bond now. Eventually the votes are read, and we see that Sam and Sierra have actually gotten into a tie, which means it's now time for a revote. Now, I'm not completely sure if everyone was able to get on board enough to tie this vote up on purpose or not, but either way it goes, it's obvious that Sierra was the primary option, because when the votes are reread, we see that she is unfortunately unanimously voted out. Damn. Well, there goes one of my winner picks, and so much for that damn girls alliance too. Like, for real, I thought Sam would be the one to leave because of all that stuff they showed us last week, but hey, maybe that was all a red herring this whole time, who knows. Now that Sierra is out, Teeny has moved back up to the top of my winners list, but only reluctantly. We've gotten consistent content and heard her point of view constantly throughout the whole season, even when she was in the passenger seat like in this episode. But also, like I've been saying all season, I'm still so skeptical about her winning, just because if she did, her win would be so freaking obvious. Rachel was like deep under my radar during the beginning of the season, but now she's starting to pop out a lot more too. I think I kind of counted her out at first just because she seemed to be more of a background character on her tribe, but I'll admit she is starting to change my mind now. And honestly, I could literally say the exact same things about Caroline. Like, those two have had such a similar type of edit in my mind. So right now, I'm just gonna go ahead and put all three of those ladies in my top three, but I'm still not even sure. Now, I do want to give an honorable mention to Andy here, because this was definitely by far his most dominating episode yet. He actually got to be like the real mastermind this time. Plus, his character development just keeps on getting better and better with each episode. The Andy truthers have been very loud and vocal the past few weeks, and trust me, I hear y'all, but I still have a little bit of trouble calling him out as a winner, just because he does seem to get clowned by the other players and by the editors a lot. Plus, his edit is starting to make him out to be a little bit of a villain, which they usually don't do for winners. I don't know. I just kind of feel like this week was probably his peak in the game, but I am still not counting him out yet, okay? All of the other remaining players left in the game I have counted out, though, unfortunately, mainly just because there have been a lot of missing pieces in their storyline or in their edit. Definitely don't take my word for Bible, though, because I could totally be wrong. I mean, clearly I was wrong about the Sierra thing. But of course, now that we are officially in the jury, I want to know, who are your top winner picks so far? Let me know in the comments below. I'll have to admit, this episode had me feeling a little bit lost, but it also kind of made me want to go back and rewatch the premiere episode just in case I spot any clues. So maybe I'll do that. Of course, I'll still be back here next week to recap the next episode with you guys. But until then, bye.